Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Mattel Ghostbusters 30th Anniversary Winston Zeddemore and Ray Stantz 6-inch figure 2-pack. Okay you guys, so in our last video we took a look at the Mattel 30th Anniversary Egon Spengler and Peter Venkman 2-pack. This time we're looking at the other half of the Ghostbusters team with Winston Zeddemore and Ray Stantz, and as you can see the outer box here is exactly the same as the one that came on the other pack. You get the very cool 30th anniversary logo on the front. It indicates this is for an adult collector and says Mattel. And then at the back you see a bunch of little details about how it's made in China. Check out MattyCollector.com and your consumer information, all that stuff. Now once we get to the inner box, we have an absolutely stellar looking packaging. Just as we saw in the other 2-pack, you get the same format. You have both of the Terror Dogs on either side of the box. You have the 30th anniversary logo there at the front. It says Winston Zeddemore and Ray Stantz. You can see that both of the Ghostbusters in the box are battling Gozer and just looks so cool. Some of the finest packaging I've seen on any toy or collectible. On the side of the box, you can see the ghost holding the banner that says includes Proton Stream, and you get 2 of them. The opposite side indicates that you have removable proton packs with this set. And at the back, you have the messy looking Ghostbusters desk, which we saw on the other box. It looks to be the exact same image, except for the fact that the personnel files this time relate to Winston and Ray. It says that Winston Zeddemore is a former Marine, former cab driver, former construction worker, and holds multiple academic degrees. The debrief says neutronization of Gozer the Gozerian. Although Mr. Zeddemore instinctively thought it better to get out of town until Gozer finished destroying New York, Winston stepped up to the plate and saved the day as the voice of reason and sanity for the motley crew of paranormal enforcement. Quotable quotes, it says, Ray, if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. It says that Ray is a doctor of parapsychology, and unfortunately, Dr. Stantz was responsible for Gozer the Gozerian taking the form of the Stay-Puft Marshmallow Man, thus turning New York into a giant s'more. However, Ray never believed his favorite childhood treat could turn into a giant hollow monster. Quotable quote says, we've neutronized it. You know what that means. A complete particle reversal. Just stunning packaging. All in all, I just really think that this is extremely fantastic. And all right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get these 2 Ghostbusters out of the box. We're going to go ahead and review both of them, and then we'll compare them with the ones that we looked at in our last video. All right, you guys, so here are the figures out of the box, and I think they look very, very nice. Imperfect, perhaps, but very nice nonetheless. As we saw with the previous set, the arms do kind of stick out a little bit too much in my opinion. So that is undoubtedly because of the way that the figures are made in order to accommodate the proton packs and the fact that the proton packs have straps that are going underneath the figures' arms. With that aside, the aesthetics of the figures are very nice. The proportions of the figures seem to be pretty accurate to what they would be in real life. You get your awesome looking proton packs, which Mattel just knocked out of the park as we saw in the last review. And both figures feature the same articulation, which means that they have quite a bit and also come with some extra very nice accessories. We'll go ahead and start off here with Winston Zeddemore. And I think that Mattel did a very nice likeness to actor Ernie Hudson, who portrayed Winston. It is a little bit of a caricature, as we saw with the other Ghostbusters, but it still looks quite good. It definitely looks like the guy. And ultimately, when you're making an action figure, I think that's what's most important, is that you capture the overall look and feel of the character. The eyes are nicely painted. All the facial paint really looks good. The eyebrows, the mustache, the hair looks, quite nice. And then the costume itself, you get the Ghostbusters logo right there, which looks great. Looks like there's a little bit of runaway red paint right there. It's not too big of a deal. It's got the elbow pads, the glossy black gloves. It says Zeddemore on his badge. And just a really nice looking jumpsuit, which is like a grayish beige sort of color. He's got a really nice looking belt. As you can see, it's very nicely detailed. There's a lot of little extras that adorn his belt on all sides. You get this really cool looking tube that connects from his hip to the back of the belt. And I mentioned in the previous video that I really like the way that this looks because it looks like something you would see in a laboratory setting. And the color of it is just great. Love the translucency to it. The legs look quite nice. The boots are a little bit glossy, but they still look pretty good. You can see the laces on them. And all in all, just very solid design of these figures. Now to remove the proton pack, what you do is you're going to take the shoulder, just rotate it, and then you're going to bend the elbow as much as you can and just rotate it a little bit so that you can get a good angle here to slip off the proton pack. And then it'll just slide off of the other arm like that. The proton pack itself looks very nice. I really like how Mattel gave it an overall black look as it was in the film, but they also sort of gave it a little bit of a metallic feel, what with these extra bits of paint that they included, just to kind of make it look a little more worn and metal-like. You get the green straps right here, not as much detail on the inside, and I just really like the colors that are on here. Very nicely done. The neutrino wand does clip on right here to the pack. You'll see there's a little notch right there, and then there's a hole right here in the neutrino wand, and you simply just plug them in like that. Easy peasy. The neutrino wand itself is also very nice. It's permanently attached to the proton pack, and it's got some really nice detail to it. You see more of that extra paint to give it the metallic look, and I just think it looks very realistic and very nicely crafted by Mattel. I really got to hand it to them for, getting this right. These are the first Ghostbusters action figures that are representative of the characters from the actual film rather than the cartoon TV show, and they did a really nice job with the figures and these accessories. Now we'll go ahead and bring in Ray, and it looks like Ray, I would say, but I do think that this is the weakest out of the 4 Ghostbusters. For some reason, the head just looks like somebody just squished it here at the top, and I really don't know what the thinking was behind that, but it really doesn't look that great. It does look a bit like Dan Aykroyd, but it just seems like a really big oversight that the head has that squish sort of look to it. And this especially is troublesome to me considering the fact that the other Ghostbusters all look really good. This is the only one that, just doesn't look that great, and it just bothers me that the head looks like that. Furthermore, the expression on his face really isn't in line with what Ray was like in the film. He was a little bit dopey, he was nerdy, he was funny at times, and the expression on his face just doesn't really convey that characterization to me at all. He just looks upset, and I don't know. The squished head just looks very awkward to me. Despite that, though, the paint does look like it's pretty nicely applied. The eyes look good. The hair looks pretty good, looks a little bit overstated. And the rest of the figure, of course, has the same body as the other Ghostbusters do, and it looks great. I do think he's a little bit on the skinny side compared to in the film, but, it works. So Ray's costume does look really good. You can see it says Stance right there on the outfit. And all around, nothing new here. It's very solid. You get your Ghost logo right there. And the proton pack, of course, looks fantastic. Just an all-around very nice figure. It's just a shame that the head came out the way that it did. And here are both the guys without the proton packs on, and it's very cool. I really like having the ability to remove the proton pack because I love the versatility you get when you have that option. Of course, I think the figures look way cooler when you have the proton packs on and have them blasting their ghosts. But having choices in how you do your display setups is a great thing, and I think that Mattel did a very nice job by offering us the ability to use or not use the packs. And the figures do look great without them, and they are a little bit smooth on the back side as far as the back of their torsos go, but that's okay. In the way of articulation, it's the same on all 4 Ghostbusters. You get a ball joint here at the neck, and you can definitely see that it's down here at the neck rather than the head. You go down a little bit, you go up, side to side. You have ball joints at both of the shoulders. They are a little bit stiff, but they seem to move around quite nicely for the most part. You get hinges at both of the elbows, and due to the way that they are designed with these elbow pads, you're not going to get a full extended arm. And it's not terrible. I think that the articulation is more or less adequate for these figures, and they seem to hold on to the neutrino ones pretty well. But personally, I would have preferred it if they would have found a way to give it more of a flex so that you could have moved it around a little bit more. You also get bends and swivels at both of the wrists. You get a swivel at the torso. You get Mattel's typical 6-inch figure articulation at both of the hips so that you can do the split. And then you have a separate joint for moving the whole thing forward and back. You get swivels at both of the biceps, bends at the knees, rotations at both of the boots, and then bends at both of the ankles. So overall, these figures are very nicely articulated. Now, of course, you do get the same great Proton Stream accessories we saw with the other 2-pack, which is very nice because previous releases where the figures came individually packaged, for the most part, did not have these. So it's very nice that you can get all 4 of the Ghostbusters with these by buying both of these 2-packs. So you get 2 of these longer Proton Streams, and they're basically a translucent plastic that's colored in orange and light blue. It's very erratic, very chaotic, and I think that Mattel did a very nice job with these. Of course, the effects in the film by today's standards are a little bit outdated, so they didn't look exactly like this, but I think that this is great, and they look perfect once you get them onto the figures. You also get a smaller piece here, and it is the same exact style as the longer piece, and you'll see that there is a little hole right there. What you're going to go ahead and do is pull the longer one. It's got a peg, and you're just going to line them up together. Just get them plugged in like that. And then on the back, you're going to see there's another hole there with a little notch cut out. You're then going to grab the neutrino wand and just line up the notch that's there at the edge with the tip of the neutrino wand. And there it is. It seats in very nicely. And how awesome do these figures look with the Proton Streams plugged into their neutrino wands. I just think this is a fantastic aesthetic. Definitely one of the highlights of my collection, having such awesome looking figures. Now, to sweeten the deal even further, they also include these glow-in-the-dark display bases, which are basically just the Ghost logo. Now, I'm not sure why they didn't do the red around it. I mean, I'm sure it was a lot cheaper just to do this and, add a little bit of black paint on it for the facial details. But it's still really cool. I'm a huge sucker for glow-in-the-dark stuff, and I'm really happy that they included both of these stands to put my Ghostbusters on. Now, they do seem to stand fine without any kind of display base, but, we'll go ahead and put it in there. And it actually doesn't seat in all the way. You can see the foot is kind of floating. You can still use these as bases, and they will function, but it just isn't the best application of creating bases that interact flawlessly with the figures because of the fact that they just don't seat into their feet all the way. And here is the glow-in-the-dark stand in the dark. Alright, you guys, and now we have the 4 Ghostbusters together, and I must say that this is just beautiful. Having all 4 of the original Ghostbusters from the original film with this great aesthetic to each figure, overall good likenesses, and just awesome accessories. This is so cool, and it makes me very happy to have these in my collection because I just really love this. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Mattel Ghostbusters 30th Anniversary Winston Zeddemore and Ray Stantz 2-pack of 6-inch figures. All in all, you guys, I'm very happy with the way that this set turned out. Although I really like the figures in this set, I do think that the other set was a little bit stronger, and the only reason I say that is because of Ray's head. I'm just not really feeling the squish look of Ray's head. It is bothering me. I wish this is something that they would have fixed before these figures hit production. Figures still look great. Winston has a very nice likeness to the Winston we know and love from the film. The outfits are very nicely done. The accessories are just awesome. I love the Proton packs. I love the neutrino ones. I love the Proton Streams, which I think look fantastic. And the display bases, while a cool extra inclusion, just don't really work 100% as they should with the figures. But nonetheless, it's cool to have extras like that. On a scale between 1 and 10, I'm going to go ahead and give these figures a 9. The pack is still completely solid. I highly recommend it to you if you love Ghostbusters. It's just incredible to have these 4 Ghostbusters together in these 2 terrific sets. If you're a fan of the Ghostbusters films in any way, shape, or form, and you like collecting quality figures that look awesome, then you're really missing out by not picking these up because I think they are absolutely fantastic. I don't know when or if Mattel will be re-releasing these figures yet again in the future, especially with the new Ghostbusters movie coming out this summer. So if you do want to get them, the time is definitely now. And I think for the asking price, they are a pretty good value. Alright, my friends, if you enjoyed this video, then I do encourage you to please like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think about Winston and Ray, whether or not you're planning on picking them up or all 4 of the Ghostbusters. Be sure and follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, I do want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Stay tuned, my friends, because we have more Ghostbusters on the way. Until next time, bye-bye.